Let us begin in the place where the world ends. It does not end with a bang or a whimper or a nuclear flash on the horizon. It ends on a Tuesday afternoon while we are standing in the cereal aisle of the grocery store. Or it ends while we are stuck in traffic on the freeway surrounded by the red glare of brake lights. Or it ends in the middle of a Zoom meeting under the hum of fluorescent lights while we are pretending to listen to a quarterly report. It starts with a prickle on the back of the neck, a sudden subtle shift in the gravity of the room. The air suddenly feels too thin, as if someone has sucked the oxygen out of the atmosphere. The light seems to change. It becomes too bright, too sharp, too unreal. And then the body takes over. Our heart, which has beaten faithfully and quietly for decades, suddenly becomes a trapped bird slamming against the cage of our ribs. Thud, thud, thud. The hands go numb, the fingers tingle, the tunnel vision sets in. The floor feels like it is tilting, and the thoughts begin to race at a speed that defies logic, a torrential downpour of catastrophe. I am dying. I am having a heart attack. I am having a stroke. I am going crazy. I am losing control. I am going to scream in front of all these people. Someone help me. We look around and the horror is compounded by the normalcy of the scene. The woman next to us is calmly buying milk. The man is checking his phone. The world is ticking on, completely indifferent to the fact that we are collapsing. We are falling through a trapdoor in the floor of reality. We are plummeting into the abyss. This is the panic attack, and for millions of us in the modern world, this is the most terrifying experience of our lives. It is the moment we lose our innocence. It is the moment we realize that we are not the captains of our own ship. We treat this event as a medical emergency. We rush to the ER. We beg the doctors to check our hearts. We get the EKG. We get the blood work, and they tell us the most confusing sentence imaginable: "You are fine. It's just anxiety." Just anxiety. It felt like death, so we leave with a prescription for benzodiazepines and a referral to a therapist. We go home feeling broken. We feel like our body has betrayed us. We feel like we are defective machines. We develop a secondary fear, the fear of fear, agoraphobia. We begin to shrink our world. We stop driving on highways. We stop going to crowded places. We stop drinking coffee. We tiptoe around our own nervous systems, terrified that the monster is sleeping in the basement and could wake up at any moment. But I am here to offer you a different map. A map that the medical manuals and the good vibes only culture will not give you. What if the panic attack is not a malfunction? What if it is not a mistake? What if it is an awakening? What if the lightning strike of terror is actually the soul trying to break through the concrete walls of the ego? What if the panic is not the symptom of a disease, but the violent symptom of a birth? We live in a culture that is obsessed with control. In the West, we worship the self-made man. We believe we are the masters of our destiny. We manage our time. We manage our finances. We manage our bodies with macros and workouts. We manage our emotions with therapy and apps. We curate our image on Instagram. We build fortress-like egos. The ego is the controller. It is the part of us that says, "I am safe because I know what is going to happen next. I am safe because I have a plan." We build our entire lives around this illusion of continuity. We think that if we just hold on tight enough to the steering wheel, if we just white-knuckle it through life, we can drive this car forever. But the universe is not controllable. The universe is wild. The universe is fluid. The universe is impermanent. And deep down in the basement of our subconscious, we know this. We know that death is real. We know that everything we love can be taken away in a heartbeat. We know that we are tiny biological organisms clinging to a rock spinning in infinite space. The ego spends 24 hours a day suppressing this truth. It builds a massive dam to hold back the ocean of reality. It uses distraction, busyness, and numbing to keep the water at bay. A panic attack is the moment the dam breaks. It is the moment when the sheer, raw, uncontainable energy of life floods the system. The biological term is fight or flight, but the spiritual term is kundalini, or prana, or shakti. It is a surge of energy so powerful, so high voltage that the ego cannot contain it. The circuitry of the ego overloads. The ego says, "Stop, this is too much, I can't control this, I am dissolving." And because the ego believes that it is you, the loss of the ego feels like the death of you. When you are having a panic attack, you are not dying physically. Your ego is dying. The you that thinks it is separate, solid, and in control is being dissolved in the acid of the present moment. It is a petit mal, death, a rehearsal for the end. But notice something profound. When the panic attack is over, you are still here. The heart slows down. The breath returns. The floor is solid again. You did not die. You did not go crazy. You did not explode. You survived the dissolution. You touched the void and you came back. This is the initiation. This is the shamanic journey of the modern age. In ancient cultures, people would go into the desert or sit in sweat lodges or take plant medicines to intentionally induce this state of ego dissolution. They sought it out to find God. They sought it out to break the illusion of separation. In our culture, we don't seek it out. We suppress it. We numb it. We run from it. So the energy has to come find us. It has to ambush us. It ambushes us in the supermarket because that is the only place it can catch us off guard when our defenses are down. The universe is shaking us by the shoulders, screaming, "Wake up! You are more than this small, controlled life." Let's look at why we panic. Why now? Why us? We panic because we are resisting the flow of life. We are resisting the truth. Usually, a panic attack is triggered by a feeling of being trapped. We feel trapped in a job we hate, but we can't quit because of the mortgage. We feel trapped in a marriage that is dead, but we can't leave because of the kids. We feel trapped in a persona, the good girl, the strong man, the poem's success story that is suffocating us. We feel trapped in the endless grinding expectations of American life. The soul screams, "I cannot do this anymore. I cannot pretend anymore. I need to move. I need to change." But the mind says, "No, sit still. Be a good employee. Be a good spouse. Don't make a scene. Keep going." The friction between the soul's desire to explode and the ego's command to stay put creates a nuclear reaction. That reaction is the panic. It is your own truth trying to blast its way out of your body. We think the panic is the problem, but the panic is the messenger. The panic is the alarm bell on the Titanic saying, "We are hitting an iceberg, change course." If we just take a pill to silence the alarm, we hit the iceberg anyway. We have to listen to the alarm. Let's go deeper into the fear of death. At the core of every panic attack is the fear of annihilation. The fear that I will cease to exist. This is the ultimate fear of the ego, but the mystics tell us something beautiful. Die before you die and you will realize there is no death. A panic attack is an opportunity to practice dying. It forces you to confront the ultimate letting go. If you can surrender to a panic attack, you can surrender to anything. When you are in the grip of panic, you are forced into the now. Think about it. When you are panicking, are you thinking about your taxes? Are you thinking about the embarrassing thing you said at a party in 2012? Are you thinking about your 5-year plan? No. You are acutely, painfully 100% focused on the now. You are focused on every beat of your heart, every breath of air, every sensation on your skin. It is a state of hyper-presence. It is terrifying, yes, but it is also the most alive you have ever felt. You are vibrating with the raw energy of existence without the buffer of the mind. You are looking into the face of God, and God is a fire. And let's talk about the derealization. This is a common symptom where the world looks fake. Your hands look alien. The people around you look like cardboard cutouts. It feels like you are in a simulation. This is terrifying to the ego, but it is a valid spiritual insight. The mystics call this Maya illusion. In that moment of panic, the veil of culture falls away. You see that the roles we play, the clothes we wear, the shopping malls we build, it is all a stage set. It is all temporary. You are seeing the matrix code. You are not going crazy. You are seeing reality without the filter of cultural conditioning. You are realizing that you are a spirit having a human experience, and the human experience feels suddenly small. So how do we transform this from a curse into a blessing? How do we stop being the victim of the panic and start being the student of it? How do we navigate the storm? The first step is the hardest, the most counterintuitive thing you will ever do. We must stop fighting the fear. Our instinct is to resist. We tense up. We try to distract ourselves. We tell ourselves, stop it, stop it, stop it. We treat the fear like an intruder in our house that we are trying to push out the door. But the law of the mind is what you resist persists. By fighting the panic, we are sending a signal to the amygdala. This feeling is dangerous. This feeling is a tiger. So the amygdala releases more adrenaline to fight the tiger. We create a feedback loop from hell. We become afraid of the fear itself. We are throwing gasoline on the fire. The spiritual move, the jujitsu move, is to surrender. It is the float technique. Next time the wave comes, try this. Instead of tensing up, drop your shoulders, open your hands, unclench your jaw, and say to the panic, okay, come in, do your worst, kill me if you have to, I am not moving. Invite it, dare it. Is that all you got? Give me more. Make my heart beat faster, make me dizzier, let's see what happens. This is called paradoxical intention. When you stop running from the monster and turn around to hug it, the monster dissolves. Because the monster was fueled only by your resistance. It has no power of its own. It was feeding on your fear of it. When you say, I am willing to feel this, the brain gets a signal, oh, we are not running, we are not fighting, then there must be no tiger. And the adrenaline stops. The parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. The wave crests and breaks. This surrender is the gateway. It is the realization that you are not your body and you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of the panic. There is a part of you that is racing, sweating, and terrified. But there is another part of you, a deeper, silent, vast part that is watching the panic happen. That part is not afraid. That part is not shaking. That part is the sky. And the panic is just a thunderstorm passing through. The thunderstorm is violent. It is loud. It is shaking the windows. It is flooding the streets. But it cannot hurt the sky. The sky allows the storm to happen, holds the storm, and remains untouched by the storm. You are the sky. When you identify with the observer, you realize that you are safe, even in the middle of the terror. You realize that you can withstand high-voltage energy. You realize that you are bigger than the sensations. We also need to look at our lifestyle. We cannot ignore the biology. In America, we are running our engines at 100% capacity 24/7. We treat our bodies like rental cars that we drive into the ground. We drink staggering amounts of caffeine, which is liquid anxiety. We stare at blue light, which disrupts our sleep and confuses our hormones. We eat processed foods that inflame our gut, our second brain. We are constantly stimulated. We never rest. We never stare at a wall. Our nervous systems are fried. They are like electrical wires that have been stripped of their insulation. So the slightest touch, a loud noise, a rude email causes a spark, a short circuit. The panic attack is your body's way of pulling the emergency brake. It is saying, if you won't rest, I will make you rest. The exhaustion that follows a panic attack is mandatory downtime. It is the system rebooting. To heal, we must relearn the art of grounding. We need to get out of our heads and down into our feet. We need to touch the earth. We need to eat heavy, nourishing food, root vegetables. We need to sleep. We need to cut the caffeine. We need to turn off the news. We need to build a container strong enough to hold our energy. We need to address the shadow. Panic is often repressed emotion bubbling up. In our nice culture, we are not allowed to be angry. We are not allowed to be grief-stricken. We are not allowed to be wild, so we stuff it down. We push the beach ball under the water, but the beach ball wants to come up. Panic is often rage that has nowhere to go. It is grief that has been denied. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Am I scared or am I furious? Am I anxious or am I heartbroken? When you name the shadow, the panic often subsides. The energy finds a channel. The fear of the next one is what keeps us trapped. We develop agoraphobia. We shrink our world down to a tiny safe zone, our bedroom, our couch. But safety is an illusion. You are not safe in your room. You are safe in your soul. If you trust that you can handle the wave, you don't need to avoid the ocean. You have to tell yourself, if it happens, it happens. I will float. I will not drown. I have survived 100% of my bad days. I am undefeated. There is a concept in Japanese samurai philosophy called die before you die. It means that if you face the fear of death completely, if you accept your mortality, you are liberated. You can live fully because you have nothing left to lose. A panic attack is a dress rehearsal for death. It forces you to confront the ultimate letting go. If you can surrender to a panic attack, you can surrender to anything. You become fearless. Not because you don't feel fear, but because you know the fear cannot destroy you. You become a warrior. You have walked through the fire and come out the other side. People who have never panicked are innocent. They don't know the fragility of reality. They live in a bubble, but you know. You have seen the abyss and you are still standing. That gives you a depth, a gravity, a wisdom, and an empathy that others do not have. You become a healer because you know what it's like to be broken. So if you are in the thick of it right now, if you are carrying the secret shame of the panic, if you are checking your pulse while listening to this, I want you to know that you are not broken. You are simply waking up. Your soul is growing and the growing pains are severe. You are shedding a skin that no longer fits. The old life is too small for you. The old you is too small for the energy that wants to come through. Do not numb it. Do not hide from it. Listen to it. What is the panic trying to tell you? Where are you lying to yourself? Where are you trapped? Where do you need to let go? Use the panic as a compass. It is pointing you toward your freedom. It is pointing you toward the life you are actually meant to live, not the life you think you should live. The lightning strikes to burn down the dead forest so that new growth can begin. Let it burn. Let the false self burn. Let the control burn. And when the smoke clears, look in the mirror. The person staring back at you is real. The person staring back is resilient. The person staring back is awake. You are not a defective machine. You are a universe exploding into consciousness, and explosions are loud, explosions are chaotic, but they are also the source of stars. You are being born. Breathe, let go. You are safe.